Okay, so welcome to episode 12 of the Dauntless discussion. And we are back again, but this time this is the very first episode following the Dauntless Awakening update. We've spent nearly a year and a half doing this podcast, talking about the speculation, waiting for this update to come out, and what do you know, it is finally here. So I'm very glad to have with me, we have Shireen Plays and Danny T. Awesome.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. All right. So, very brief introduction because introduction. Sorry, because you've both been here before. You've both done this before. But Shireen, you're up first.
YouTuber. I make mainly guide videos and how-to videos, mostly on Dauntless now. And yeah, I've been here before and very happy to be here again.
Sweet. And Danny.
Funny about me, Danny T, Italian YouTuber, Dauntless, maybe the only one. And three years, maybe four, on Dauntless, I just bring build, advice, patch news, and etc. Everything about this game and also other similar game like Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Great. So this is the first time on the podcast that we've had more than two people. It's always been a one-to-one basis, but we've got three on today. We were meant to have four, but I think three will be it'll be a perfect amount. Sometimes 4 or 5 people on a podcast can get a little bit busy, so this should be ideal. So we're not going to mess about, we're not going to talk, no more introductions, no more breaking down situations, because we know exactly what we're going to talk about. We're talking about this Awakening update. We're not going to beat around the bush. This game has been this update and therefore game has been heavily review bombed on Steam. I think some of the criticism is probably justified. However, in my opinion, and I'm not going to speak for you guys, but I have a feeling you maybe agree with me that most of it is probably an overreaction as well, I would say. Is that probably right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially on Steam when you can see the time you spend it. You
Yeah.
see people with 1 hour, 2 hour, less than time.
It's true. Yeah, it's
How
true.
you can describe a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Literally.
funny. The most funny part is when you can see now on Steam. Let's say, for example, I play for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They told you this guy was playing for 30 minutes before leave a comment, but now he still play. And my question is, if you write something bad, if I say I don't like Dauntless after 30 minutes, why you still play? I mean, why you still play, you know?
Well, it's actually interesting. You've hit the nail on the head there. I mean, I did a bit of research. I like my quantitative data. I did my research and I found that most, if not all, of the positive comments on Steam were from people who'd played 20 plus hours. And 90,
Yeah.
I mean, you're right into the late 90% of people who left negative reviews played an average of 0.2 hours, so about 20 minutes. And, you know, you could argue that if someone doesn't enjoy a game, they're not going to play very much of it. However, it also just makes me think that so many people have jumped on that bandwagon, left a very negative review, despite having, you know, maybe seen 1 or 2 things they didn't like, but they haven't actually given it a proper shot. So it was just a little interesting bit of, you know, research that I'd done on that. And it's a bit of a shame because Dauntless as a whole, it's you know, there's certainly criticism there, but I think the game doesn't deserve as much criticism as it's actually had. And looking at the Steam player base, I looked at the concurrent players, and obviously as a result of all these negative reviews, it's plummeted, unfortunately, on Steam, which is very unfortunate, for sure.
Yeah. And especially as well that there are a lot of trolls in the Steam reviews as well.
Oh, there is.
And to follow Danny's comment, I literally saw a Steam review that said I logged in, didn't see my armor weapons, then logged back out.
Negative review.
That was a negative review. And it's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, you need at least, as you said, like 10 to 20, maybe 30 hours to actually form an opinion about the update.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
For sure.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
if not
to
more.
go with the troll comments, there are so many like clown emojis on review. Like even my review has like 2 clowns on it. I'm like, okay, this is just
It's
it's just crazy.
yeah,
It's crazy.
it really is. It really is.
Because you like a game, I'm now a clown apparently. But thankfully, 2 people upvoted my review for helpful, so that shows
Oh,
something.
good.
Some people are actually reading the positive reviews. They're not just going to the negative reviews
Yeah.
and being like, oh, okay, I shouldn't play it then.
I mean,
Thankfully.
I don't know about you guys, but I've had in the last, well, since the update, I've had some of the most um, crazy, scandalous, some of the cheekiest comments that I've ever had in my
Oh,
entire time
boy.
on YouTube. I mean, I've always kind of had, I'm not a very controversial person, so I've never had, you know, crazy opinions, or I don't say things that are usually that unpopular. So my videos are usually rated they're thumbs up quite often, and I usually very very rarely get a negative comment. But I found that recently most of them are probably negative, and some of them are negative towards me as a creator as well. I would say I had one guy. It was quite funny. I had one guy that said, "Oh, you Dauntless partners, you've sold your soul to Dauntless for some money. We're not going to take your thoughts into consider." I'm not a Dauntless partner.
No, exactly. What are you talking about? None of us are.
So,
Literally, they've all left. It's only us left.
literally, yeah, I do it because
Oh
I
my
enjoy it. I
gosh,
don't know if
dude.
you have had anything similar in your channels. I can imagine you
Oh my
probably
gosh.
have.
I can't relate to that enough, dude.
Oh,
I always wanted to turn the comments off in my videos. They're not bad. They're just like, it gets to a point where you just don't want to read them anymore.
yeah, I
Like, I
know.
even put up a poll, like, what should my next video be? One of the top comments, the most liked comments, how to uninstall Dauntless. I was like, dude, come on.
I
And
actually I
it's
saw
just,
that, Shireen. I saw that on
oh
YouTube.
my gosh, I've literally got to the point where some of the comments just make me cringe now. I literally can't even read some of them. And
Yeah,
obviously, I don't want to block people. I don't want to hide the comments because they're
no,
people's opinions and they're entitled to their opinions. I don't have to agree with them.
for sure.
But it's just like, my goodness, like, and I'm fed up with answering questions. I've answered the questions in the other videos. Go and watch the other videos and you'll understand why some of the stuff is gone. Like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so
oh, for
bad.
sure.
But thankfully, there have been people as well that have been saying, you know what, I gave
Same.
it a chance, I like it, or I don't like it. Those ones are fair. But
Yeah.
it's clear that some people are just jumping on the bandwagon. It's actually insane. Like, even now, like, what, it's been out for a week, 2 weeks?
What are we now? The
And there are
fifth.
still
So yeah,
people
10
coming in.
days. 10 days it's been out now.
Yeah, to the comments like, oh, how to uninstall the game's rubbish. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, I talk regarding the Italian fan base, almost. People they get frustration and angry against Dauntless, mainly for 2 reasons. First of all, because they remove everything, let's say, not literally, but in terms of build, you know? So when you have your nice toy, your power build, that one able to do 400k, this sort of thing, and
Yeah.
someone is grabbed your toy and remove it and tell you now you have to build your own toy, the people they get lost. The same when was for Elden Ring for the DLC. The people was farming to be stronger before the DLC. When they released the DLC, was like, oh my god, what the hell is this? The same here. The people they leave a bad comment is because, let's say, the Phoenix Lab they took the nice toy and they tell, okay, this is the new one. And of course, no one was like, no, I don't like it. I mean, I'm sad too because I lost of things, but this Dauntless, I put in my mind like it's a new game. I'm
Yeah,
starting
exactly.
from zero, and let's say I bought the deluxe version or the premium version with some bits on it. Let's think of the game like it's a new game. So you start from scratch, you start from zero. Let's make it, let's
Yeah.
make it right.
Yeah.
And we have lost our toy. I mean, we were playing last night, Danny, and it was pretty rough. We were playing on the Twilight Domain, and we were fighting against Carconos. I think you were doing a bit better than I was, but we were getting one shot killed like over and over again, which is pretty painful because I miss I miss the build I had, the Tempest builds I had. I missed the 100k, the 200k damage I was doing, but I'll just get there again. I'll find another way of getting there, and that's just part of the game, I'm not
Yeah.
overly. I'm disappointed, but I'm enjoying the fresh perspective. I'm enjoying some of the new things in the game, and I think that's where it's probably the best place to start with this podcast is to talk about maybe what we're enjoying about the update. just
Yes.
highlighting some of the positives, because there's plenty there,
Yeah.
and maybe we'll just go around the room. I mean, I'll start with we'll just start with yourself, Danny. What are you enjoying about this update so far?
So first of all, I'm not joking because I like put. Don't get me wrong. I like put an example with what I bring on the table,
Yeah.
just to have clear the mind to everyone. You know, let's say, be my message more clear for everyone. First of all, the unique of the weapon. Okay, regarding the currency is a little bit
I
not
agree.
great,
I
but
agree.
regarding the unique of the weapon is what we're looking for. Because if you're thinking another game, Wayfinder, with the technique of the reforge, is an annoying, is boring stuff. Is when you don't have idea. Here at least you have a new weapon. You have to bring to level 60 and give it to you unique things. Okay, there are stuff we already saw in different weapon. Okay, and also the lantern, but at least is a unique things. So you can build unique style. This is really an evolution of the game. Because in the past, have the axe of the Agaros or have the war pike, this is the real difference. I mean, okay, blunt damage and stun damage, okay, but they are nothing. They are just, meaning.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
totally.
just little stuff. Unique weapon, and just you have that weapon does that things. This is great. This is something really I like it.
Good. Yeah. What about yourself, Shireen?
Be honest with you, I love Karkanos's Twilight Domain hunting grounds. I
Yeah, me
absolutely
too.
love that place so much.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I remember,
yeah.
I literally live streamed it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it looks amazing!" Because I think I've mentioned it on the podcast that we did together, Dragon Law, that the Umbral escalation is my favorite escalation because of the traversal, because
Yeah.
of Thrax, everything to do with it. It's just, I remember stepping on it and be like, it feels like a new game.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The
It really
traversal
is.
you have on the mountains and the vents and everything. Seeing Shroud there, like in his little palace, it's so cool.
Yeah,
Like Karkanos as well. I love the design of it as well.
yeah, he's
I do
incredible.
miss the tail thing, but that can be whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely love that hunter grounds. And also coming off the back of Danny, I also love the unique weapons. I love the implementation of the lanterns into the weapons as well because
Yeah.
it was all the same. It was so meta before. Everyone's using the same omnicells. Everyone's using the same armor. Everyone's using the same. Before Reforge it was Iceborne. Then
Yeah.
it was like the Umbral Omnicell and the Discipline Omnicell. Now it's like we can do whatever we want to. It's going to
Exactly.
take some time to learn it, but it's like that's the challenge of it, and I love the
Yeah.
challenge. I really do. Oh yeah. So
Oh, totally.
yeah,
I mean,
that's it.
how many weapons did we have before? I couldn't even
and
hazard
everyone
a
had
guess.
the same weapons as well.
Everyone used the same 4 or 5 weapons. So I
Yeah.
get it. There's frustration about a lot of the weapons being taken away, but now you have fewer weapons, but a hell of a lot more depth, which I think people aren't going to argue with in the long term. Because let's be honest, when you had dozens and dozens and dozens of weapons, no one used them. It's
No, exactly.
yeah, so yeah, I
Now
totally
you can
agree.
choose what weapons you actually want to use
Exactly. Yeah.
and spend time making those weapons better.
Yeah, and much more unique in terms of what you can add to them and the builds and some of the perks they have. It's so much more depth to them. I agree. I think I agree. The Twilight Domain is incredible. I'm having a great time with that. The Carconos is great. I think I really like the Alluring Moons, the little gimmick of the Chaoxes that come along with that. It's just a nice little addition. I'm quite enjoying that. I think on top of that as well, the builds that they're much more unique, I would say. Yes, a lot of weapons have been taken out, but I think it was necessary. We had far too many, and having less but having more depth to them, that's something I'm really enjoying. And I just think there's a bit of I don't know, like I just feel like I'm playing a little bit of a different game as well. I can't quite put my
Yeah.
finger on it. Like you're going to the same islands that you've played countless times. Oh, I like these surged islands as well. I like the hunting grounds having the surged versions of like the Boreal Outpost and these kind of things. I think that adds quite a lot as well. It means you get to go back to these other islands, but they're much more difficult. Yeah, I think the UI tweaks and interface tweaks, I like that as well.
Oh, the interface is
It's
amazing,
so good, it
especially
really
coming from
is.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, for sure, for
It's
sure.
so sleek, it's so fast and reactive. My
It is.
goodness.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And I think the game looks a lot better. Yes, there's performance issues, and I hope they're going to patch that out. But I think, is it Unreal Engine 5, 4, 6? What they on?
Yeah,
They've
Unreal
moved.
Engine 5, yeah.
They've moved up.
Hmm.
I think the engine looks great, but it does need tweak. The performance, even on my custom computer rig, it's struggling a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how you guys are finding that in the Steam Deck, Shireen, or in yourself, Danny. But I feel like the game is struggling a bit in terms of the frames per second. But
Mhm.
no, there's just a real freshness about playing the game just now, which I think the
Hmm.
game really badly needed because it was getting a little bit samey. It was getting a little bit
Well,
dull.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I didn't mention
Hmm.
is I absolutely love weapon swapping.
Oh,
I kept
same.
saying that
Yeah.
I need to see it in the game to actually
Hmm.
understand how it works, and it is so good, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
It kind
swapping
of
between
feels
like
like
a
it's
war pike
always
and a
been there.
hammer is so cool.
Totally.
Sorry, say it again.
No, it kind of feels like it's just always been a thing. You know,
Yeah,
it
it feels so
feels.
natural. It's so quick
Yeah.
as well.
Sometimes I forget I have it, but then I remember, oh wait, I've got an entire arsenal of buffs and attacks to use with my other weapon. I quite enjoy
Hmm.
that. So
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
But
and the
also
shared
you
XP as well is
can
kind of
get
cool.
to mechanics. Let's
Hmm.
say you can build now weapon with passive, just only passive stuff.
Yeah.
And it's nice to keep
Hmm.
like not primary weapon. But also it's nice because if you have a weapon where you can make a nice bond,
Hmm.
let's say the anvil is guaranteed you more damage
Yeah.
when you
Hmm.
just put the buff on on the ground and use an axe is a nice combination.
Hmm.
I mean, yes, the sword weapon is great.
Hmm.
I like it. In the beginning, I was a little bit, let's say, no, in
Hmm.
terms of trial. Yeah, the trial,
Hmm.
how you can
Yeah, the
do
trial,
the board.
because you got all the different weapons and the timers for each
Yeah,
weapon. That's right. Hmm.
yeah. I was
Oh, that's
wondering
cool.
only how they will get the board, but other than that, yes, what weapon is great.
Well, that remains to be seen because currently they've taken the leaderboards down because people have exploited some of the in-game
Yeah, I
damage
saw that as
bugs,
well.
which is pretty funny. But I mean, the Dauntless player base are
1
always going to
million
do
damage.
that. Get that in a tracker right away. Yeah. Ah. I mean, I think anything else. I'm actually just enjoying some of the builds I'm putting together as well. They're not very good so far. I've got one or two half decent ones. But I think the way of creating builds is going to take. It's a bit of a learning curve, but I'm liking some of the builds that I'm coming away with. I've seen Glitches, who was on the show two episodes ago. He's already got a couple of videos out talking about some of the builds, and they look pretty damn good actually. I noticed
Hmm.
Mr. Trails has one as well, and of course Swift and Deadly. He's already got farming guides out on how to get EXP, so I'd recommend checking that out as well. I mean, the guy knows how to farm XP and coins and things like that. He always has. He's always the first one to get onto that, and then he goes over to Twitch and he just does it all day. It's fantastic. So I'm liking that. Um, Currently though, I think that. Oh, and just the attention. I mean, there's updates coming as well. I think that's another thing.
Yeah,
The
the
19th.
19.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I think just ongoing updates. I think that'll be a good little addition as well for sure. But that's all I can
You
think of at
know
the top of my head.
what I'm looking for from the past, from the previous version,
Hmm.
regarding the menu, but from select the island.
Yeah.
Because for a new player, let's say I play with you
Hmm.
and I tell you, let's go to Rupenigma. Okay, let me find which is the section and after open
Hmm.
and see the Rupenigma.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that one, I think so. The menu regarding the Shutter Island is nice.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, is nice,
Hmm.
but no,
Hmm.
because for a new player looking for that specific Shutter Island, you have to search one by one. You
Yeah.
got much longer.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they do like a full screen where you can see like they did right now with the graphics, so you know which one is ice, fire, shadow, light,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
If
Mhm.
at least if you
Mhm.
have the entire Shutter Island in front of you,
Mhm.
you know immediately, okay, Rube Enigma, you can looking around, you have a quick look, you can find it. And after
Mhm.
you can easily remember.
Mhm.
That one, I don't know. I think this is pretty, you can get lost easily. Maybe
I have a
I'm
feeling that
wrong
was what
about
they
it.
were going to be doing, but they just abandoned it. I remember some of the really early dev blogs where they shared. I think I actually did a podcast with you, Shireen, about this, where we
Yeah, I
talked
was
about the
about to
world
say,
of the Shattered
literally.
Isles, and
I literally looked at that picture the other day. I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah, I
what
remember
have they
that.
done?
That was lovely, wasn't it? It was like
Oh
a
my
world
gosh, I
map.
was so upset,
Yeah,
dude.
me
I was like,
too.
where is this map gone? They
Me
had this
too.
huge map that was colorful, it was green, it had that
Exactly.
little guild marks underneath each of the titles.
Yeah.
I was like, I went into the game, I was like, it's
Mhm.
just menus again. They've gone back to the menus.
I
There's
was
no like large
disappointed in
map or
that.
anything. I
Mhm.
was so disappointed. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. And of course, as Danny's saying, a lot of those islands are lore specific. You would have to know the
Mhm.
lore about
Mhm.
Lina Silva and Agaris to know where to find each of the islands.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just like,
Mhm.
and I don't think they even mentioned it in the main quest. I don't remember seeing anything about Lina Silva being Skaldeskar or
No, I don't
anything
think
about
so.
Agaris
No.
either.
No, unless there's a
So yeah,
quest
that
that
was
we've completed
really,
already and we don't get to
yeah,
replay it. But no, I don't think
For
there is.
the
I don't remember seeing
Carcanos
anything.
is for the Carcanos is tell you the island
Mhm.
and is correct, but
Mhm.
doesn't tell you which section of the menu you have to go. You know,
Yeah.
Hmm.
it's like let's say for example you have to go USA, California.
Mhm.
You know, at least
Yeah.
you have an idea. So when you open the menu, you see okay, USA is there. Open it, California, Texas, or whatsoever, easy to find it.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Tell
Yeah.
you
I think
just
the
a
only,
random Staten Island. What it is.
Mhm.
yeah, I think the only way you might be able to find it, if you go into the behemoth, what's it called, registry thing in the menu and
Yeah, the
actually
journal.
read the,
Mhm.
yeah, the behemoth information, it might tell you in there. I think it has something about Karkonos in there
That's
being on a
something I've not
specific
done
hunting
yet.
ground.
I've not read the Carconos
Oh,
journal entry yet. That's terrible. I need to get on that.
yes. Oh, Dragon Lore.
I know, I
Come
know,
on,
I know.
dude.
God, call myself the lore guy. That's bloody
I'm not gonna
terrible.
lie, I was like deep into those menus, dude. I had to like read tutorials again. I was like, how in the world do I do all these essences? It's still
Oh
to
man.
read tutorials on it in the game. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Well, that's a
We'll get to
repairer.
that anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, these are the things that we're enjoying about the game because there's a lot to enjoy. But I think we're not we're not blind to some of the criticism. We're not blind to some of the issues that need to be fixed. But I think understanding what it is. I mean, we're players that are probably positive. We're looking at it with a positive in a positive light. We're focusing on things we want to enjoy. However, it'd be interesting to see people who've actually put in some time what the criticism actually is from you guys. So again, maybe going around the room, it'd be good to hear what you haven't enjoyed about this update, and it can be anything from performance to gameplay changes, anything like that. I'm genuinely curious for my own opinion as well. And again, Danny, you want to take us off with that one?
What I enjoyed more in Dauntless in general, you mean?
Less what you don't enjoy. So what criticism you have of the update?
What I did enjoy, sorry, because I find hard to hear you.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
no problem.
But what I really did enjoy in general, we talk about just silly bug.
Mhm. Oh
Something
yeah.
I hope they're gonna fix
Mhm.
after the 19 or during anyway the 19.
Mhm.
We talk about, for example, I was using Predator. You try to avoid the attack and the behemoth is here, you are here, and you get it. You know, but in
Yeah.
general, regarding if let's say I do a cleaning of the gameplay, just this, we talk about just bug regarding the gameplay.
Mhm.
Some effect you don't see the twister made by the scribe,
Yeah.
the hole, you know,
Yeah.
Hmm.
it's like invisible. He does the action, but you literally you don't see uh, the twister anyway. The storm, the little storm he made it. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
this is like okay,
I've noticed a
but
few things like
also
that actually. Yeah, you're right. Not just
yeah,
I think some of the attacks by the likes of Phalanx are similar. They're not
yes,
animated properly, and you're not seeing them. So sorry to jump in there.
yeah. some of the things just regarding, like, let's say, technique of the behemoth in general. But regarding the weapon, let's say I didn't find any issue at all. Regarding moving around the map, okay. Get stuck between three, no. The only problem I saw is this. The crash, I have to say, I didn't get so many crash. I can count in one hand. I'm not joking. I just count in one hand. And I play still from Epic, huh? Still okay. But regarding the behemoth, yes, sometimes they just completely just standing, looking around, see what's going on, and you meanwhile, hey mate, I'm here. You know?
It's funny. I can hear Fluffy just screaming in the background, probably saying, "Oh, but I've had a million crashes," because he's had constant crashes. I can feel it. He's just screaming in his own podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. So why you don't know? Because I crash so much. Okay.
I've had one. I
Fair enough.
think I've had one. Probably 20 hours. I've had one crash. I think so. It's not impacted me too much. But yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than that. But you know what? The Emberman, let's say the elder one, the purple one, or deep purple, was bug on the previous Dauntless, and now it's fixed.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go then.
A funny thing.
There's always a silver lining.
This is the previous was charging you, and after was crossing you was the bopping things on top of his head. Now it's correct. Before he's approaching you, you can see the moment where you can bop him. And also some behemoth. I mean, I think so. They have some new moveset because the Emberman does something new. And also the script. They start to do
I've noticed
two
that.
hit,
Yeah.
but different. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that kind of movement was not part of the Emberman in the past.
No, it's true,
100%.
and it shows the muscle memory because I get so thrown off with it. I'm getting thrown about
Oh,
sometimes
same.
because I am in a habit of just doing the same dodge and the same. I know the animation is like the back of my hand, and the slightest of change has changed it for me. So no,
Yeah.
you're right.
Just being slapped around by Emberman is crazy these days.
It's pretty embarrassing, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Sweet.
But for the rest, yeah, I mean, the only bug, like I said, just only the creature. Sometimes you see the Pangar ice block standing there, the damage everywhere, like.
Yeah. All right, Shireen.
I'm like Danny. I haven't had a lot of crashes. I think I had like 2 crashes the first launch day, and since then maybe a few disconnects, but no crashes. And I'm on Steam Deck as well. And I have to say, the performance on Steam Deck is amazing.
Wow.
I legit thought it was going to struggle, and I'm playing at 1080p HD, 30 FPS. I'm not sure what the wattage is. Maybe 10 to 12 watts, I think.
I think that's pretty
But
good.
yeah, it's literally the lag that Danny mentioned. I have that as well, but nothing major that stops me from playing the game. I have noticed strange lag on Ironfall specifically. Ironfalls and Ironfall Surge, like Danny says, like Nasher will be like spinning and then he'll just disappear on the other side of the other 2 grounds. It's like where, what? Also, there's, I don't know if it's a bug, but it's a weird thing with fauna with the events. Like it will say, you know, the normal defeat all the fauna in the event, and some of the Gruck will literally go off of the mountain, so you have to chase them down the mountain in order to progress the event. I was literally in an event on the Ironfall Surge yesterday, I think it was, and some guy was just standing there, like waiting for the event to go. I was like, "There's a Gruck somewhere that's been launched off somewhere, and he doesn't know where it is." So I literally had to spend like a minute going to chase this Gruck down the mountain to try and get it. That could be frustrating sometimes, and I genuinely don't think people know that they have to go and actually search for them. Now they do. We didn't have to do it before because they just stayed in the same place. And with the Pangar lantern, it was easy. You just do that, and then all the fauna disappear at the same time. But mainly, the main disappointment I have with the game is the hunt pass. That has just
Agreed.
absolutely.
Yes.
I can't even explain how disappointed I am with that.
Oh,
like
I'll
the
get right into that,
canisters
Shireen.
especially.
Yeah,
It's
so
just.
bad.
I was like, what are they doing, dude? You get no platinum, and the platinum that you do get is from the canisters. And you get what, like a 5% chance to get the platinum?
Oh.
And the Arkslayer transmog armor that they were like, oh yeah, look at this new armor is in the canisters with
Yep.
the sea stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come
So
on,
bad.
like what are they doing? I'm like, okay, let me just, I played it for like 2 weeks. Obviously, I've been playing since launch. I was like, all right, let me just give the canisters a real test. Let me actually go for the elite pump pass. I wasn't going to do it because I was like, I don't think it's worth it. I was like, let me just buy it. Let me go through it. Oh my gosh, they're awful, dude. I got like a sea flare. I got the helmet from the Arc Slayer, whatever it is. I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they've upped the amount as well. I think it was 990 platinum for the elite pass. Now it's 1,000, and you don't even get platinum back. So now you
No.
have to pay. I think in Great British pounds it's 799 for. I think it's. Is it 1,000 platinum? I can't remember the actual total.
Sounds about right, yeah.
It's awful.
But it's literally like, I was like, dude, what are they doing? And then the second one was the map. That was what I was really disappointed with. I mentioned it before. Going into the game, seeing the menus and being like, this isn't the big map that they showed us on the development. Obviously, that's the dev blog and they could have changed it, but it's like, it's the exact same thing. There's no guild marks there.
Exactly.
There's no like, I was just like, okay, this is crazy. What else is there?
Maybe I have
And the
another-
essences, as mentioned before
Oh,
we
for
started the
sure.
podcast, like,
Yeah.
my goodness, dude, I was like, okay, let me go see what it's like. Go on the Surge Iron Falls. One event, I got 3 cores. I go to make the essence. It's not even 1 essence.
Oh,
I'm like,
it's so bad.
oh boy, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's again, I mentioned it before we started the podcast, but it is a grind fest for new players. Like
It really is.
us
That
that have been playing for like 4 or 5 years, we have 500 weapon tokens, but that is just like most weapons in there cost like 150 weapon tokens.
and when you get them, you're back to level 1, and it's that etherite infusion. That's it's going to take a
Oh my
long time with
gosh.
that.
Yeah.
The dull etherite is pitiful.
Oh my gosh, dude! I've been grinding bounties like my life depends on it to get those dull aetherites. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, to be fair, you do get the shiny aetherite and peerless aetherite from the
Yeah.
hunt pass. But my god, they didn't put enough on there. Are you insane?
it's so bad. Yeah.
I've been
I
playing the
totally
game for 4 years, and I'm just like, So yeah, there's clearly some like rebalancing that has to happen, but oh my gosh, dude, it is just. But overall, I'm enjoying the game, but the monetization in it and the hunt pass is just wow. I
Yeah.
can't believe they took it off. I genuinely cannot believe they completely removed platinum from the hunt pass. That was the only reason to get the hunt pass, because you got platinum back to buy the next hunt pass.
I mean, we know why
Yeah.
they've done it.
Believe it.
We know exactly why it's happened.
Yeah, we know why.
Which is a
Yeah.
shame. And I mean, last episode we had of this, me and Danny, we had one of the devs who actually tuned in for the live stream, which was awesome. And it sounds like they do listen to a certain degree of our opinions and how we feel the game should, the direction of the game. It's not a good direction. It's really not. I can see why they're doing it. The game's been struggling. And obviously there's that new parent company that came. I think Fluffy was wanting to talk about that in quite a lot of detail, 40 Labs, but I don't know enough about it myself to kind of go into that in
Me
enough
neither.
detail. But I think I agree. That's one of the most disappointing things. And I had something like 10,000 platinum purely because I'd saved it over such a long period of time, and because I kept getting Nintendo gift cards on my Switch, and I just thought there's nothing I actually want to buy, so I poured it all into Platinum and Dauntless. So I actually unlocked. I tried out the canister system, and I unlocked the entirety of that deep sea armor, and some of the cosmetics that go with it. It cost me in the region of, I want to say, 4,000, 3,000. It was something.
That's
Maybe not quite as
insane.
much as
Oh my
that, but you're talking. It was about 3 or 4 times the amount a hunt pass
It's
would
300 per canister, isn't it?
be. Yes, so it was. Yeah, so if you're talking about
My
12
goodness.
separate, because then you've got the titles, you've got all the
Yeah.
arrivals, you've got the emotes. So you're talking. It was around about the 4,000 mark of platinum. I would not have spent that if I didn't have it to
Yeah.
expend, but. That's an armor that should have been part of a hunt pass. You can tell it was
Literally.
it was going
At
to be
least give
part
us
of a
the
hunt
Arc
pass.
Slayer, dude. At least give us the Arc Slayer one that you
sure.
literally advertised
Yes.
on the second main artwork for the game.
It makes me think that was a last minute decision to pull it out and
Yeah.
stick it into the canister
100%,
system,
yeah.
and it's just not good practice. I'm sorry,
It's not.
I'm not happy with it, and I can see where a lot of the frustration is coming from. I think I still truly believe that people are overreacting in terms of
Yeah.
the hate that this update is getting, but this is something that I think needs to be changed, and it needs to be
100%,
changed soon.
yeah.
I totally agree about the level in the XP. I think it needs to go up a little bit because it is a grind
Yeah.
fest. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
That dull etherite infusion. Oh my goodness!
Dude.
Like, I've had hundreds and hundreds of it, and it's so small the way it levels up your little system.
For 15,
Yeah.
you have to use 1050 elements. 1000 for
That's
15.
insane.
There's the math right there. It's so bad. Again, a
And
slight
it's like
tweak could fix that.
200. Oh, sorry.
No, on you go, Shireen.
It's like 200 behemoth parts for one essence
That's right.
as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do you expect anyone to be able to do that, dude?
I mean,
Like,
it's,
my gosh.
luckily we have that in our inventory because we've been playing for 4, 5,
Yeah.
6 years. But a lot of new players, I can imagine like the amount of
Exactly.
the amount of parts you would have to gather to unlock that. That is so much.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, I think the only other thing, some performance issues. Like the Nintendo Switch it's kind of borderline unplayable just now, and I have a very, very tolerant ability. Like I can play. We've said before, Shireen, we talked about Ark Survival
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. I don't need damn good performances. I can play sub
No.
30 frames per second, but
Yeah.
there's things like audio glitches. There's
Oh,
there's-
yes, I remember those too. Yeah, I've seen some of those.
there's,
Really weird ones.
I think when you're playing on an island event and you've got all your
Yes.
Chaoxes running around and you've got 6 players on the map and there's 50 different units doing all different kinds of things, the game it's a slideshow. It's
Like,
really
what is
rough.
happening?
Yeah, it's
Help.
literally like that. It's
Literally.
really bad. So
And then when the behemoths have the spore struck Charog does its poison thing,
yes,
and the event ends, and you can still hear the poison bubbling on the floor. It's like,
Yes.
where's that sound coming from?
yeah, but
It's
even
still there like 10 minutes later.
yeah, but even the music glitches out. It's you can tell they weren't quite finished with it yet. You know, the Switch is never going to be great. I mainly play on PC since this updates came out anyway. Usually I mainly play on a Switch purely because of convenience, but I mainly play on PC just
Yeah.
now, and it's even on my PC. It's fine, it's bearable, but I've noticed that the frame rate's about a third of what I was getting before. I can still play it, but it's just another thing to maybe note down. They need to maybe tweak that a little bit. The only other thing is maybe hit marking. So obviously, you know, when I do an attack with a Bastion Omnicell or I use a special move, sometimes you're waiting for that pinpoint key moment to hit a behemoth and you're aiming. It happened quite a lot last night, Danny, when I was playing with you actually. You're just about to hit that behemoth. You've built up your shields or you're about to hit the target and you hit it and then nothing happens. And then your special's still there, it hasn't used, and you have to do it again, and then so it's not registering. I don't know if it's a connection issue. It's something I've never had before, but it's a little bit frustrating.
I think I've had the similar thing with the Reckless Leap, actually, now that you mention it. Like, you charged up the Reckless Leap with the Warpike, you hit to do the Reckless Leap, and then, like, mid-air it slows down,
Yeah,
and then
that
you
sounds
hit the
right.
behemoth, but it doesn't feel like you've actually hit it. It's weird.
Yeah, but again,
Never
these
been
are just
before.
slight things that I think could be improved
Yeah,
on.
growing pains.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's much. I mean, obviously, you know, losing our builds and losing our reforges and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a bit inconvenient, but it's not. I'm not overly bothered about it. I can handle it. I'm quite enjoying the fresh
It's the end
perspective.
of the world by no means.
Exactly. Well, according to some people, it is. For goodness sake.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. If you're one of those people who like grinded for hours and hours and you have like hundreds or thousands of reforges, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, did you really like doing it, or did you just like the grind? Let's be honest here. Most people, literally, there were people who left the game when the Reforge update came out.
Exactly.
So there's a large majority that didn't even like the Reforge system. Like, yeah,
Because
but I get it. I get it. You earned that, so you want it back. But was that the game to you? Like,
There's a-
just grinding for the Reforges?
There's a very famous YouTuber. I'm not going to name him or her. I'm not going to name them.
I think I know who you're talking
who
about.
covers Dauntless content, and they're probably the biggest channel who has ever done Dauntless content. And I've never quite seen you know, I'm only a fraction of the subscribers he's got, but I've never agreed with his opinions. I've always kind of thought he was very negative. I've always thought he was always against Reforge, and then he moaned and moaned and moaned about the game. He moaned because he wasn't accepted as partner. He moans about the greed of the game. Then he publishes his advertisement straight after moaning about the greed of the game.
Question, but this guy wear glasses.
I maybe he will remain nameless. I've noticed he moaned so much about Reforged, and then he said goodbye Dauntless. Dauntless is dying. Blah blah blah. This is why I don't play Dauntless. And then he never played the game for several years. And then he came back with a comeback Dauntless video saying they've ruined my Dauntless. Why have they done this to my favorite? You know, it's. The player base was so low, no one was playing, so they had to change it, and they've changed it, and all these people who no longer played, I'm sure that's not everyone, but so many people who weren't actually currently playing are now extremely aggrieved, despite the fact that they weren't playing anyway, and the game would have died if they'd done nothing about it. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
The amount of people that left the game saying, "Oh, it's boring. It's so the same. It needs to change." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They literally changed it, and now they're complaining that they've changed it.
Yeah.
You literally cannot make this up. It's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
You will never make people happy. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
matter
true.
what you
No,
do.
you won't.
Doesn't
No.
matter.
hmm
Because it's easy complain. It's so easy. When I mean, don't get me wrong. In my channel, yes, I do complain.
Yeah.
But I tell you, let's say I don't like this, and I expect from you
hmm
if you can do these things.
hmm
You know, at least I give it to you my opinion how to resolve the problem, my point of view, something to work on it. But if you just point the finger, say I don't like what you're doing, I don't. Okay, perfect. You don't like, but what you want, and you just answer me back something. Okay.
It's just a bandwagon, isn't it?
Well,
People like to jump on
Exactly. It's like working in tech support. People are like, it's broken.
it. Yes.
How is it broken? Why is it breaking? How did it break? Like, tell us something. Why is it bad? You don't tell us why it's bad. You just say it's bad. Why?
It's
How?
just-
Give
it's
us some
so true.
constructive feedback here, people. We're trying to have a conversation.
In my
oh
my
my
managerial role in the job that I have, it's any change, any slight improvement, anything. People will ask for something, and then you'll implement it, and they'll say, "Why have you done that? Why have you made that change?" You can't please everyone. You really can't.
Literally. Yeah.
I hope this hasn't damaged the game beyond repair. I really hope it can bounce back from this. It's going to be
Yeah.
interesting the next few months to see what they do in reaction to this, because they can't ignore it. There's 1,300 reviews on Steam. You can't come back from that unless you do a No Man's Sky, which is probably not going to happen. So it'll
It's
be
a once in a lifetime. It's like a silver moon, really, isn't it?
yeah. So I hope they can, and that's kind of so. The last thing I'd kind of like to just talk about briefly today is what improvements do you think would get the game back on track again? And I'm not talking about for all the people who have bitched and moaned about the update. I'm more talking about you specifically. What would you like to see happen in the next month or the next 2 months? And bear in mind, Belden, one of the devs who watched, he was very complimentary of you, Danny, actually, because you were being critical in some of the opinions you had in the last episode of the podcast, but you don't just moan. You come up with ideas on how to improve things, and he took it on board, and he says this is something we should really be reporting back to the parent company. So what would you like to see come to the game in terms of improving? Yeah, Danny, sorry, you want to take us off?
Okay. Oh, no, for me it can be first Shirin. I don't mind, but about changing. First of all, let's do the pass, because the free version doesn't give it to you exactly nothing, really nothing. I understand you get the 25 point, okay, I agree, but sorry, the 25 mark, weapon mark, but it's not enough. It's not the reason why I want to be there. I understand you pay and you don't get platinum back. Of course, I get a little upset, but I understand the end of the day, you have to pay your bill. And okay. I'm okay. The pass must be changed. Cannot be like that. Because if I play for free, if for any reason I can afford the money to buy platinum because I'm 16 years old or less, because the game is free to play and it's for many platforms, This means many people they can have it. Also Switch, because many, I mean, less than 16 years old they play with the Switch because you get for Christmas. So give the opportunity for these kids to enjoy the game,
Totally.
grow with the game, because it's the hook. The pass is the hook. Is that one is gonna grab you and keep you there, you know? Because League of Legends, it give it to you, for example, the special price, the box you open, you have the skin.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pay, you can have more of this skin, you know? It just give it to you extra. Here is, okay, give it to you some crisp, you know, some crunchy stuff. If you pay, maybe I give you the toast. No, no, make it
You've
such a
always got a
big
wonderful way
difference.
of putting things, Danny.
I just love your analogies, Danny.
They're fantastic, yeah.
They're amazing.
No, this is what I want. This is what the really people want. Okay, I understand you have to pay the bill, but also do something equal.
Mm-hmm.
Make me enjoy, and also the loot box. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
you've been against that since the very beginning, and I was open-minded, but after actually putting in
Yeah.
4,000 platinum, I agree. I think it's a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
It is a bad
Yeah.
decision.
I mean, loot box also is pay the bill. Okay, okay. Everybody does. Why not me? You know, I understand also this point. Regarding the experience, regarding make essence, that is something really have to work on it. And
Mm-hmm.
also on the Slayer 3, I saw how much money I need and how much mark I need because it's not completely. So they just remove stuff from me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get any sort of little refund.
No.
And okay, but you okay, I am agree with you. You don't want to give me a refund of all the mark I use it. Okay, fair enough. But I saw how much money I have to spend it, and like, what the hell? And I mean, I'm an old player. A new player, you start, for example, your son, I don't
It's
know if
true,
you have
yeah.
a son or daughter,
Mm-hmm.
8 years old, will be 25 before you finish this layer 3.
Pretty much, yeah.
Come on,
It's a long road
come
ahead of us, yeah,
on,
for
come
sure.
on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the rest, the bug and the rest, we already know. This is something, is obvious. But these 3 points regarding experience, essence, and pass is something you have to work on it, because at least the previous version of Dauntless was buggy, because we cannot say was clean, especially the chain blade. Sorry, not the change, but the chain blade. But anyway, you still enjoy play the game, bug or without bug. But here you have bug and construction of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and when this part is the main part, the core part is rotten.
There's no game left. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is my point.
Very well put, Danny. Very well. All right. Shireen, what about yourself?
Oh, the first thing, they need to put the Arc Slayer armor or cosmetics into the hunt pass. They have to do that. Like, that is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Take the Arc Slayer canisters out. The canisters in general, I've always been against it as well. And like you, Dragonlore, I bought the hunt pass, opened the canisters, and it was just as expected. Just could not believe how bad it was.
Really bad. Mm-hmm.
They need to up the amount of Aether cores you get from the events on the surged hunting grounds. That is ridiculous. At least 5 per event, I would say. Like 3 is just not enough. 3 is not even enough to make 1 essence. It's ridiculous. And I think they should also change the types of aetheryte you get from the bounty. So right now I think you get like 7 dull aetheryte per silver bounty, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it goes up with the gold bounties, but I think they should change that. So the higher the bounty, the higher level aetheryte. So dull should be on the lower level bounty, shiny should be on the mid-tier bounty, and then the gold bounty should give you the peerless aetherite.
That sounds like common sense, actually. That
Exactly.
sounds, yeah, okay.
That's what I thought it was gonna be, but I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I think there should be a way to convert the aetherites when you make an essence. So we should be able to convert the dull aetherites into the shiny aetherites, the shiner aetherites into the peerless aetherites. It makes sense. Like you don't want to be grinding for one. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that it? Also the moons, the moons that you get
Oh,
from
of
the
course,
hunt.
we've not even touched on that, have we?
The alluring moons, there's one thing I really hate about them, and it might be nitpicky, but the Chaoxes get in the way. The amount of times I've used them, I activate the Chaoxes, and they're just in front of me, and I'm just hitting them. I'm like, dude, I can't run around the whole hunting ground trying to avoid my own Chaoxes. Like,
I think
please.
Glitches stated on his, because someone's commented on one of his videos saying that bothered him, and he said, as a partner, he said that is something they're going to be addressing. So they will be. What's the phrase? Transparent? No, when you can walk through something. You know, you can walk right through them.
Invisible?
They're not. Yeah, you're not going to be able to contact them, so you're going to be able to go right through
Oh no,
them.
hitbox. I mean.
Something like that. I can't remember. But essentially, they're not going to get in the way after the next patch. I thought you were going to touch on the fact that it's locked behind the paywall of the Hunt Pass. But again, the devs have said that's only temporary. It is only temporary.
And also, one thing I didn't mention with the negatives, I mentioned it in the chat on this Discord, but the fact that you can't remove a second weapon is so annoying.
Yeah, I seen you saying
Because
that.
the XP is shared between your two weapons.
Yeah.
But if I just want to focus on the warpike instead of the hammer, I can't remove the hammer. It's still automatically shared between the two, which is
That's a fair
annoying
point, actually. Yeah.
sometimes. Because I did see that Fluffy made a really good build with the golden claws and then the umbral chain blades.
Yeah.
You could use the passives in different things. I'm like, I kind of just want to power up my warpike or my axe sometimes. I don't want to do both of them.
I get
It's
that.
kind of disappointing when you go into a hunt ground to grind forever and you see, oh, my second weapon's got some of that XP.
Yeah, because we've talked about enjoying the switching of weapons, but I feel like it should be
Yeah.
a choice, not forced down you, you know? So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And obviously the monetization for the hunt pass is just like crazy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
It really
The
is.
weapon tokens. Again, I said it in our podcast, Dragon Law. They have to make money. They've lost so much money with the game. They've lost money with Fae Farm. Apparently they even had another farming sim that was going to come out that they've cancelled because they obviously can't make money. So all of their cards are now in Dauntless, and I get it. Obviously, from a business perspective, you need to do that, and obviously there has been a lot of news of who is running Phoenix Labs now.
Yeah,
But they have to balance the hunt pass, dude. It is just beyond disappointing.
totally agree.
And as Danny said, it's the hook. This is why you do it. You know, it's just wow.
Again,
So
I
disappointing.
can hear
Oh, and the map
Fluffy.
as well.
Oh, of course,
The
the
map,
map, yeah.
The map, like, I'm so disappointed. Like, I just wanted to scroll, you know, with the thumbsticks, just scroll across the map and see all the Skaldeskar and the Farstayers stuff, and like,
It's a
oh,
little
just so-
thing, but it would have been nice, I agree, and I think it just would have
Yeah.
tidied things
It's
up a
nice
bit.
aesthetically as well, just to see the different islands on one screen.
It's funny, I can hear Fluffy
yeah.
again screaming in the background with that parent company takeover thing, just like, no, because he would have been diving right in there with some spicy
Yeah,
comments, but unfortunately he's not here to give us those comments. But
I didn't even know about that stuff either. I went on another live stream and someone mentioned it to me. I was like, oh, really? Because obviously I mentioned it again in our podcast. I think, is it your podcast or the one that I did on my channel? I can't remember. But last year they swapped management or something, but apparently that new company's not in a part of that. It was really secretive, so
yeah, that
that's
sounds right.
shady. But
It is a little bit. It's not
yeah.
something. Things that going on behind the scenes. I try not to I try not to know too much about it. Life's too complicated
me
already.
too.
Politics and the way the world
Exactly.
is. I try when I'm playing games. I try to avoid all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, same
you know,
here.
it's it's obviously impacting the game, and maybe it's influenced some of these financial decisions. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's some
But
great points.
yeah, I've been talking too long. Go
No,
ahead.
not at all. No, those are really, really good points. I think everything you have said, I agree with. I think there's nothing we've actually disagreed on so far in this podcast, and there is potential for that because.
Can I add one
Oh
thing?
no, I take that back then.
Oh no! Oh no, Danny, don't spoil it.
And we'll end it right here. No, on you go, Danny.
Yeah.
I promise, just a little bit. You know which one is the strongest entity in Dauntless Awakening? The strongest, really, the strongest.
Carcanos?
The strongest behemoth.
No, entity. Let's say this way, entity.
Entity. Oh, you mean like the fauna?
Yeah, in general, ragazzi,
Anything in Dauntless is
which
strongest
is
thing.
the top, like like in Predator scale, which is the top of the top. Guys, is the nest with the dragonfly.
Oh, dude,
If you
don't
go
even get me
closer
started on those
and hear it,
Vespers.
and this bloody
Oh
nest is next
my!
to you, you can hear like
It's actually insane. I lost all of my HP to a Vesper nest. I couldn't believe it. Danny, you're right. You are 100% correct.
Screw the
He is
Carconos,
100%
screw the Shroud, screw the Thrax. It's that wasp
fauna.
nest. The fauna. It's the pre-patch Gruk
Oh my
strikes again.
gosh.
Remember the pre-patch Gruks, but when they would almost they would knock you about, they'd take
know
all
what?
your XP.
I apologize to Gruks, okay? I hold my hands up.
Yeah.
Gruks, I hated you in the previous updates. My god, you have nothing on those Vespers, and you have nothing on the Chaoxes in the
Totally.
Twilight Domain. Oh my gosh, I had to run for the Chaoxes on Twilight Domain because they were so bad. They were so tough.
Yeah. Maybe a slight tweak would sort that, but then again, you know,
Little
it's
bit.
a new challenge. I'm not against it, but my goodness, yeah,
Oh
I
my
agree.
god. But yeah, Danny is 100% right. The Vesper nest is ridiculous.
oh no, seriously. Especially when you have the eternal frost, I think so is
Yeah,
in
the
English,
Pangar
the
thing.
axe.
Oh yeah.
You just throw the axe and
They pop. 100%. I completely forgot about that, Danny. Good shout.
Yeah. Very good. So I think my opinion, just to finish things up, I guess, on what would make it better. I mean, obviously, performance tweaks, gameplay, you know, things like that, like hitboxes, like frame rates, like little things like that, which I think they will do anyway. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. I definitely think they need to. Again, you guys have already said that they need to tweak the XP, the level of XP, the amount of parts that are needed for Aetheryte infusion and things like that, because it's not player friendly. They're hoping you're going to buy as many of these XP boosts and things like that as possible to try and aid in that, which isn't great. I think I remember coming across a comment ages ago, and it was about Warframe. And someone was talking about, and it basically sums up monetization in free games perfectly. Okay, so Warframe's a very good game. And there's so many different things you can buy in that game. However, you don't actually have to buy anything, as we already probably know. So cosmetics and hunt passes and all this kind of stuff you can buy. It should be something you buy because you want to buy it, not because you have to buy
Yeah.
it. And that's I think that summarises what Dauntless was and what it is currently. I feel like we're now having to buy things because we need to. You know,
Yeah.
the Alluring Moon's temporarily been locked behind a hunt pass. Okay, fair enough. Taking out all armor, all cosmetics, all that kind of stuff out of the hunt pass and replacing it with a couple of, you know, canisters / loot boxes, not user friendly. The slow
No.
XP system, you can tell it was carefully articulated to be as slow as possible so that you would then buy some of these boosts and some of these things like that. You know, the bounties and all that kind of stuff. It's not player friendly, so we're having to buy things because we need to, and that's what kills games, I think. So if they can kind of tweak that, if they can kind of balance that, I think that would improve a lot of people's opinions on the update. Apart from that, no, I think if they keep going the way they're going, if they address some of the issues, that the developers have clearly stated that they're not going to. they're not going to back down from a lot of. They're not going to back. They're not going back to Reforge. So a lot of people are saying, "Why are you not going back to Reforge? Everyone wants it." The developers have essentially said that's not happening. We're going to keep going as is for. But I think they should take some of the feedback, like some of the things we've talked about, tweak it, improve it, and we go on from there. And I think we can maybe start undoing some of these review bombs. They could start seeing a bit more of a positive atmosphere again. But that's my thoughts. That's how I feel would improve the game a little bit. But yeah, I think, guys, unless there's anything else you've maybe missed, if there's any more deadly entities that we've maybe missed in terms of powerful fauna or any more criticism or anything, I think that's pretty much going to do it for today. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we end it here? No?
I would say if you are looking at reviews for the game in its current state, take it all with a pinch of salt, especially on Steam. Look at the playing hours. If anyone's not played the game for over 5 to 10 hours, I wouldn't take their reviews seriously.
Yeah.
I would. It's a free game at the end of the day. Jump into the game, see if you like it. You might be surprised. I've seen some people in my comments saying, I didn't think I was going to like the game, but I jumped in and say, you know what, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not as bad as some of the reviews have said. So I would say, just give it a chance. And that's all I can say, really.
I think I'm going to say something and it's going to be controversial. And I can imagine this video might be one of my most disliked videos I've ever done. And I don't care. My thoughts are the player base needs to grow the fuck up. They need to grow up.
Oh, dude.
Honestly.
I cannot agree more. They're like children.
They are. Criticism is one
we
thing.
Get you don't like change, but come on, dude.
For sure. I've seen, because I go on all your guys' channels, I check out all your content, I read through the comments. I have seen on every single one of your channels someone stupid saying something stupid. And I've seen people comment back, and I've seen other people completely ignore it. Glitches was getting some belters, honestly. Some of the things he was getting in his comment section. Just don't attack people because you disagree on their opinion. You know, let people, if someone's enjoying it, who cares, you know? Grow up. That's my thoughts.
One of the funniest comments I got, well, it wasn't funny, but I laughed at it anyway, was, I won't mention the name, but it was a person that said, something along the lines, I can't remember it verbatim, but it was something along the lines of, oh, this update looks rubbish. It's rubbish. I said to them, have you played the beta test? This was before the update came out. I was like, have you played the beta test? They said, no, but what I've seen is awful. So you actually haven't played it then, and you have no idea what you're talking about. So why are you even... It's just like... And it's clear that some people in my comments haven't actually played the update. Oh, look, I told you it was going to be terrible. Have you actually played it? It doesn't sound like you've actually played it.
But judging by some of these Steam reviews, people haven't played it. 0.001 hours put into the game to then leave a negative review. It's like, you haven't played it.
I logged in, logged out. I did like it.
Yeah, just only this. Because it's not enough time to check first basic mission, because you have to do the tutorial.
Yeah.
You have to go into the different map, etc. I mean, within 10 minutes, I mean, don't forget we have speedrunner, but this is not speedrunning.
With the current, Danny, with the current XP system, there's no such thing as speedrunning in Dauntless anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to give a shout out to some of the people on the Dauntless Discord that actually like held the fort and said, look, people, this literally been out. This was like a day after the update. Shout out to those people who said, you have to play the game. Do not come in here shouting and screaming about the changes without playing them. Like, you're literally just jumping on the bandwagon. So shout out to that Discord community. Some of those people in there have been absolutely amazing, defending the developers, defending the update, and saying, yes, there are criticisms. Like we've been saying, like, we have constructive criticisms, but they've done pretty well as well. So shout out to those people over there. They've done a really good job.
Because there's things we've all said we don't like about this update, but it doesn't mean we're going to throw hatred towards the development team and we're going to leave negative reviews. No, we'll see how it goes. There's things we think that they should improve on, and hopefully they do. And if they don't, fair enough, alright? But I think that's the way forward.
Exactly, yeah. It's like Fluffy said as well, like, this stuff has been all over social media for like a year. If you didn't know by now, like, it's been on Reddit, it's been on Twitter, YouTube, literally every single social media platform. If you really love a game, you be following the game, even if you're not playing the game, you're interested in it. Like, come on, dude. You knew for a year.
The amount of people,
at least 6
honestly,
months.
Like on Facebook, on Reddit, all these places that have said, I logged in, where are my weapons? They've been telling you for a year and a half that your weapons are about to go.
What do you mean, where are your weapons? And also, I don't know... Sorry, Danny, go ahead.
No, no, sorry. Just to agree with you guys.
Uh,
Yeah, they said. They said.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about comments, and I don't know what it is about social media, but people on social media always use, I think the word is absolutes when they talk about stuff.
Yes.
Everything is gone. Everyone hates the game. It's like, no.
No.
That's why I'm so specific in my videos. I say some people don't like it. Some people disagree.
And
It's
they
like, it's
talk as
so
if they
overdramatic.
talk as if everyone agrees with them. So it's like, let's all just
Exactly.
stop playing because we all hate this. We all disagree with what
Yeah.
they've done. They should shut down the game. I'm just like, that's not us. That
And
we are not we. It's you. You know.
yeah, and the one thing I didn't ask you, Dragonlord, I don't know if you've experienced this, but there seems to be this narrative of the game where people keep saying, "Oh, the developers want to kill the game."
I've seen that a
I've
lot, an
literally,
awful
I
lot.
don't understand where that came from. Like, I
No.
remember seeing it like in some of my earlier
Yeah.
when it was called the Shattered Isles update.
I think
People just
it's.
kept coming in the comments saying, "Oh, they want to kill the game. They're trying to kill it slowly over the next year." I'm like, where did this come from?
I think it's because people get so caught up in their own opinions that they can't understand why decisions were made that way. So obviously they're thinking the only possible conclusion that the developers could have for making these changes is because they want the game to fail. But that's,
Yeah,
it's opinions are arseholes. We've all got one. It's
yeah,
just.
exactly.
Aye, so it's. I think
So strange.
the word that I used when someone left really, it was actually before the update even dropped. I see this guy everywhere. He was over Reddit. He was in Fluffy's comment sections. He was in mine's, and he was just leaving pure hatred constantly towards the content creators and just the game itself. I'm like, so I said, just go and do something else. And he was like, no,
Yeah.
I've played since launch. And then I was like, it's your opinion. It doesn't mean that it's true, you know.
Mhm.
So that's just my
Yeah.
thoughts. But
Mhm.
totally. All right, guys. I think we'll end it here. This has been great. I think there is criticism, there is positives, there is negatives. It sounds like we're all on kind of the same wavelength in terms of how we feel about this update. There's improvements that certainly need to be made, but I'm having a great time. I'm having a brilliant time with this update. I think there's so many good players ahead of us. I'm looking forward to this update on the 19th. Glitches seems to indicate they're going to be adding quite a lot. So yeah, fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
everything crossed.
Yeah. And of course, a big shout out to both Danny and Shireen for joining the podcast. Please get over there, get subscribing to the guys. Again, if you're checking out this podcast, hopefully you've heard of them if you haven't already. But get over to their channels, get subscribing, and until next time, see you later.
See you later.
Bye.